Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGeek webinar series, our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is software testing in banking domain. Our guest speaker today is Mr. Akash Talan. He is a freelance test consultant. After 10 successful years of industry experience and working with top companies like TSYS International and Styria, Akash decided to set up his own venture and a software company specializing in web development, database services, software testing, and quality assurance and quality control services, along with mobile development. During 10 years of experience in IT industry, he has worked as testing professional, taking care of various portfolios like project manager testing, senior test lead, and has interacted with numerous clients around the globe. He has a proven record of excellence in project management, software testing, software quality assurance, and quality control. He specializes in A/B testing, sanity, modular, system integration, smoke, migration, UAT, OUT, alpha and beta testing. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Akash.
Yeah, thank you. Hello everyone, how are you doing? So let's start with this session. As Swani said, my name is Akash Talan and I'm a freelance software quality assurance and testing consultant. In first slide, I am trying to give you guys a brief introduction about myself, so what I have done and what are my achievements. Sure, not any, just few achievements. So now coming to the topic, like software testing is an important part of the IT industry, and banking domain is an important part of our life. Now, how software testing is impacting the banking industry? As we know today, each and every bank is having software. Everything is like automated. You go to a bank, you apply for any ABC item, it will be automated, and people will be like online all the time. So it is like everything is now automated, and for this we need software. And in banking industry, software are very demanding. The software needs to be very robust, stable, reliable, and secure. And I will tell you all that in IT industry, banking domain is considered to be very complex. It has vast number of concurrent users, vast integration, like you can pay your utility bill and all the things. Rules in and business rules in banking sector are highly stringent. The applications are highly demanding, and application flow to projects are very robust and highly demanding. And you all know, you all must be knowing that banking applications are real-time applications. Any offline activity need to be processed through batch files, and batch file processing is an important part of the banking industry. In the banking industry, we have high number of transactions on an account or on a portfolio per second or per nanosecond. In large banks like HSBC, there can be thousands of transactions per second or lakhs of transactions per second. And banking software ensures that each and every transaction is secure, and all the records all the proofs of all the transactions are maintained in the logs, and every item is tracked and reported. We cannot leave anything unreported. Everything have to be reported all the time. We cannot have any exceptions. And software testing in banking application, like few more things about the banking software. These software are operable from Mac, Linux, Unix, and Windows platforms. Support users from multiple locations, multilingual. The bank softwares have to support users having different gateway cards. Like one of the many of the leading banks in India are issuing payment cards from both Master and Visa, and they have to support multiple sectors as well, like retail banking and loans. Now, moving ahead, what are the major requirements of the banking applications? A banking application requires a massive storage in terms of hard disk space. It has to be foolproof archiving mechanism, because after a fixed period of time, the data have to be archived so that new data can come into the drive system. Each application has to have a foolproof disaster management system. The most important and critical requirements of the banking applications are performance, transaction monitoring and handling, case handling, fraud detection and handling mechanism, dispute management, any online transaction management system. Banking applications important characteristics also include, like, these applications are multi-tier applications. Like, a application will have both desktop and server-side version, have a database, have n number of interfaces, and number of dependencies. A banking application may have multiple servers, and like for a bank have one server in Asia, one in Europe, and all those things, and then they have to be like collaborate all the data once in a quarter or once in a week. And bank applications have multiple layers of validations of inputs and outputs. And trust me, in the banking application, the database are governed by a large number of constraints and stored procedures, views, and ways to protect the sensitive information of the and customers. Now, what is the platform for most of the banking applications? Most of the banking applications use mainframes as a backend, and these systems are robust enough to handle trillions of transactions per second. Now, what are the banking sector verticals? Traditionally, we have the core banking, corporate banking, retail banking verticals, and now on the basis of the services offered, we have like core banking, corporate banking, retail banking, loan segment, trade finance, private banking, customer finance, Islamic banking, front-end delivery module or delivery channels like internet, mobile, ATM, IVR, etc. In the banking application testing requirement, like why do we need to test a banking application, or what are the requirements to test a banking application? To test any given banking application, we have to ensure that we test the application every time end to end. It is not that I have updated a particular module of the banking application and I test it. No, it will not help me. I need to test the entire application again. And testing for the banking applications have to be end to end. Like the methodologies have to be developed as such that we I'm so sorry, we use different testing techniques and have multiple iterations to ensure that there are no bugs in the software, because the financial implications in case of an error in banking domains are huge. Huge means it is really huge. Banking application testing covers what? Like when I'm saying that I'm going to test a banking application, that means I'm going to cover the entire workflow and business logic of the application, and verify and validate functional aspects of the application, security aspect of the application, verify if the integrity of the data is maintained, verify if the database is robust enough to handle concurrent transactions, how is the user experience with the applications. Now, what are the activities and testing times for the banking applications? While testing a banking application, the first activity we have to do is requirement gathering. In requirement gathering, we get requirement documents from the clients, and all these documents are studied by the test manager or nominated testing team members, and they do their formal requirement reviews and come up with RTMs and business scenarios. Once we have a delivery of the code, what type of testing we have to perform? Before delivering the code to the test team, the developer has to perform a unit testing. As soon as the development team gets the code, they have to perform a sanity testing, which ensures that all the supporting pillars of the applications are working fine, and we can proceed with main or full-fledged testing activities. Next comes the module level testing. Under this, the modules which are directly impacted by the application, the release or the developments made in the release are tested. Once all the developments are tested, we move ahead with integration testing, and after integration testing, we move on to the system testing, database testing, security testing, PCI compliance testing, and other mandatory testing, migration testing, user acceptance testing, which might include like alpha and beta testing, and operational testing. From this section, I am going to discuss database testing, security testing, migration testing, and UAT and OAT in detail. This is like requirement gathering, like development team and testing team study and analyze the same set of requirement and have gap analysis meeting if there are any gaps in understanding and come up with final requirement in the requirement analysis document. They prepare a test bed, or in this stage is called as test preparation. Both the teams prepare their respective set of documents, like development team prepare their development plan and the testing team prepare the test plan, test scenario and the test cases. Then comes the test execution phase, in which all the testing that I have just discussed are executed and performed according to the company norms and rules and regulations. Issues are tracked in tracking software, like it can be Jira, or it can be Quality Center, or it can be Atrium, or it can be any tool that the company has chosen to use. And the testing reports are published and shared with the all stakeholders. Whosoever is a stakeholder in that testing activity have to be updated accordingly. The important type of testings which I will like to discuss are like sensitivity model. You people must be knowing this. Integration in system, you people must be familiar with this. I will discuss database testing. The database testing in banking domain is the most important one which have to be done, and we cannot have any exception in this kind of testing. One, we have to check the data integrity, the sensitive information is masked or not, the data loading time, what is the output of data migration, validate data schemas and data types, rule testing. In banking domain, we have a number of rules which are applied in database, that if X happens, then it should happen. If X happens, then Y should happen. All the rules have to be tested. We have to verify that all the stored procedures and functions are working. We have to verify that all triggers are working. Security testing. In security testing, we have to ensure that all federal laws of the industry are followed. Applications are not illegally accessible, or any hacker is not able to access it, or any intruder is not able to access it, and the application is in compliance with the standards like WASP and PCI. Security testing tools. For security testing being one of the most important type of testing in banking industry, we have some tools also for it, like IBM AppScan, SP Inspect. And the manual tools for security testing are like Proxy Safer, Xerox Proxy, HTTP Watch, Gulf Shoot, and Fortify. What is migration testing? Friends, software companies use their own infrastructure and server to develop the banking applications, and upon completion of the project, or once a build is ready, it has to be migrated to bank server. The testing then to ensure that the application is performing as expected on the new server of the client is called as migration testing. It is done after migration of data, schema, and application development, application code to the client's machine, and it ensures that the data, application flow, business projects are not changed or there are no issues reported in this. What is UAT and OAT? UAT is user acceptance testing. Once application is successfully deployed on the bank infrastructure, this testing is performed by the company developing the software on the bank's infrastructure, and a sign-off is obtained from the bank that UAT is completed successfully. OAT, or we call it operational acceptance testing, it is performed by the bank's employee for a fixed duration, let's say a quarter of month, like 15 days or for 1 month, and in this duration, if any issue is reported in the fresh development, the developing company have to take care of it. What is usability testing? Usability testing covers the area, like if I have a customer who is visually impaired and use Braille to operate his account. So some banks prefer to give the differently abled customer privilege services, like they have a ATM with a Braille buttons. They have ATMs with hearing and audio aid, like this. How comfortable a differently able person is to use is how comfortable a differently able person is in using the application is covered under usability testing. What are the steps in the usability in banking industry or anything like that? In this slide, we are going to discuss a possible risk in the banking application and all those things like hacking. See, hackers, for hackers, banking applications are like a heaven. They gain immediately a vast amount of money. The money involved in hacking a banking application is vast. You hack somebody's bank account and you have all his money. So what can be the possible causes of this kind of a thing? If somebody goes to a cyber cafe and operates his bank account share and did not log out, or the person is like able to track his bank account login ID and password from the cookies, then he can operate your account. So the mitigation is, for every login, the bank should send a one-time password. And alternately, today almost all the computers, all the desktops and laptops have a inbuilt camera. The banks can provide a additional security by taking the snap of the person operating the account and then matching it against the image of the customer with the bank and verifying if the user is authentic or is something fake. like next way is like ATM card hacking. And why, you know what some people do? They they attach a device to the card slot of the ATM machine, and it takes picture of your ATM card number. It takes pictures of your PIN number which you have entered, and as soon as you leave the bank, they operate your ATM, your account from the fake ATM card, and you lose all your account money. How you can mitigate it? I would suggest the first mitigation will be to get your ATM card blocked and reported lost. And another mitigation can be like, today almost all the banks, all the laptops and computers are biometric enabled. So banks can provide biometric verification facility for all these things, like logging to the account and all those things. So we can keep a check on this kind of a chapter as well. Now, from the testing point of view, what are the risks for a tester? I would say I have written all the test cases, 100% test cases, 100% coverage, but still I am not confident. Why? Because I forgot to include the negative test cases. We have to remember that the duty of a software tester, the responsibility of a software tester is to ensure that system breaks. His responsibility is not to ensure that system is working fine as it is expected. So, to ensure that system does not break, a tester has to include negative test scenarios so that he can prove that system is not breaking. By including the test cases, test scenarios to break the system, which must fail, all the negative test cases must fail, should prove that the system is stable and robust. Now, what are the incidents where we can see that banking software, website and STM are at risk? We have read n number of articles in newspapers and heard lot of news like ATM fraud in India. Somebody have taken away the ATM, but they were not able to break the ATM and take away the money. So how all these things are done? Today the fraudsters are so advanced that they use the same technology to hack into the accounts. I am so sorry. They use the same technology to hack into the accounts which we use to, which we use to support the application, and they are like doing the things like one of the most recent incidents. Two of the Indian companies, one is Pune based and the other one is Bangalore based, which are in the subsidiary banking domain industry, which is card processing domain, have cost about $45 million to global fraudsters. Why? These companies were not following the prescribed standards. They were, one of the companies have accepted in the media that they have applied for the PCI compliance certificate. That shows these companies were not following the rules and regulations, the softwares were not tested to be PCI compliant. What do I mean by saying PCI compliant, or what is PCI? PCI, I can say, is like personal information, securing the personal information, like my card number should not be available in any of the bank statement, or any of the ATM should not be able to display the card number, or the PIN number I am entering should not be displayed anywhere. By PCI, I mean securing the sensitive information which may cause, leaking of which may cause any kind of a financial loss to the end user. So these two companies were possibly not following the required standards, and softwares were not tested accordingly. And according to me, had the standards been followed and the software tested accordingly, this situation might have been avoided. Now, which is better, the automation testing or the manual testing? Automation testing is always far better than the manual testing, where it comes to be testing any repetitive activity or activity which is repeated time and again and which is not going to change, or which is like once we have developed the test cases or the automated test cases, and now I just have to run the test case, and if everything is fine with the system, then it will be fine, and if there is some issue, then it will be reported accordingly. Now, but when we are developing a fresh project, or when we are developing a new project, how we are going to test it? It is always recommended to test all the projects and application flows manually. And since service-based industry is in a hurry, like, or have very tight delivery schedule, they I will force the service-based banking software companies to adopt the automated ways as much as they can. And while for product-based companies, manual testing is much better, because they have to develop the project and test the project, and sometimes they have to try n number of projects and use which one suits the best. Here they can go for A/B testing, like what is the best in a given scenario. They can explore and then implement according to the output. The majority of banking software are, so what should I conclude from this presentation? The main points we discussed are like, what is the major platform for the banking applications? Two major platforms for banking applications are mainframe and Unix. Testing has reduced a great number of possible glitches and issues in the banking software. According to me, it is following the 80-20 rule. Like 80% of the issues are caused by the 20% of error. Good compliance, good testing, and compliance with industry standards saves the companies from penalties. Good practices help to develop good results, reputation, and more business for the companies. Both automated and manual testing have respective merits and demerits. So that's all from my side, and I will like to go once again over to all the slides And if anyone have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'm not getting much question. I got only one from Bala, and he is Babu. Yeah, I got only one from Babu. Yeah. Just a second, I got few more. Let me answer the questions first. Being a self-employed professional, how?
Akash, you can answer the questions orally. Do not have to type. Hello, Akash. Are you there? Can you see the questions now, Akash?
Yeah, hello everyone. Am I audible to you?
Yes, Akash, you're audible now. You can start answering the questions now.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So I was discussing the question number 3. What are the difficulties? I think I've answered it. What is the estimation figure? Where does estimation figures in banking applications testing? Estimations, like we have to estimate the testing effort, how much time it will take to test a particular release or deployment, or for a release, how much time we need to plan, how much time we need to script, how much time we need to do particular kind of a testing on all this stuff. Where, okay, I'm taking the next question. What are different tools in market for specifically testing banking applications? This I think I've already answered in my slide. And like Microsoft PTS there and other tools I mentioned in the slides are like proxy and all things are here. The slide you can refer to, because the main concern is security, and if you are in a service-based company, then you can use QTP, Selenium, and all those stuffs. And if you are in a product-based company, then I will recommend you to use manual testing. What test strategy is? What is test strategy in testing? Why automation is more preferable than manual testing? The question is, okay. Test strategy tells us like what kind of a testing we have to do and where and how. Means it tells us about the testing that we have to do, like what we have to test and when and all those stuff, like to be precise, like what will be my one of it testing I will be doing in a particular project and all those stuffs, right? That test strategy you can also take like how all those things will be doing, like when we will start a particular kind of it testing, and what will be the entry criteria for a respective testing type, and what will be the exit criteria, and all this stuff. Automation testing is preferred for the service-based industry where they are having very tough timelines and they have to deliver the application quickly. Most of the part of the application is similar to a number of releases, and only the some part of it is changed, so it is preferred. But if you are in a product-based company, then it is not preferred to go completely automation. You should go for a mixture of both, like mixture of manual and automated testing. Okay. Let me take up the next question, where it is. Just a second. Yeah. Now it is all MNC companies are asking for BFI SI domain working experience. In this situation, how to enter a banking domain without see This is a very hard question to answer actually, and to answer this, like, uh, uh, what can I say? Like, just give me a second. Actually, just give me a second. Yeah, it is fine now. See, there are n number of companies in India in BFSI domain. From your name, I guess you are from South, so you can check in companies like Barclay Card, HSI, HSBC Development Center, and in Pune and Bangalore and Chennai, you have n number of companies, and they entertain freshers once a year, and through this channel you can join a banking company. How much security differs when testing a desktop and mobile application? There is a vast difference in security for a desktop and a mobile application. In the desktop, it is like you have to log into your Windows first, so it is your first layer of security. While in mobile, your friend can use your mobile application. So uh, there is a vast difference in this. And Karthik, it is like uh, in mobile, you can from mobile you can do all the activities that you can do from a desktop application. Like I have a ICI bank application on my mobile phone. I can pay my bills and everything. I can transfer the account. I can recharge my phone. So it have to be secure. But from bank side, ICI bank is sending me one-time password every time I log in. Maybe it on the website or it is on the any inside the bank or mobile, and I get a SMS every time. So in operation, from operating point of view, you get a OTP every time, and all those stuffs are there. How to test UAT testing in banking application? Banking application UAT is again a thing which is done majorly by the contractors from the bank in the developing environment, and they work within the developing environment but on fresh machines. Fresh machines, they report all the issues, and that development team takes care of all the issues. Database testing is done mainly annually, but Oracle tools like PLSQL have inbuilt testing mechanism also, which you can use to test the applications. Which automation tools consider is best when it comes to testing a banking project? For banking project, the best tool will be like QTP and all this stuff. So it is the best tool, like, but it depends on your applicability for what you need. Like it can be QTP, it can be Selenium if you have to check a website, then it can be Selenium if you have to check the desktop application, it can be QTP, and if you have to work on mainframe, then it can be VTS. So it is according to your need and use. Can you tell me, is that good for consumer if bank verify eligibility? I think your question is not clear to me, Kanchan Sahu. Can you tell me it is good for consumers if bank verify visibility. If you are asking me if the bank verifies the whether the consumer is differently abled and is like problem if he wears the glasses or if he is blind, then at the time of applying for a bank account or a loan, you have to specify whether you are differently abled or what. So it can be easily handled. So if apart from this, if you have any other idea in mind, you need to get me know again, please. How can we perform migration testing? Migration testing is like we have to set benchmarks. I have to set the output benchmark on my server and migrate that information to the bank server and perform the same testing again, and then match the output and validate the results and check if the benchmarks are met or not. If the benchmarks are met, then everything is fine, and if these are not met, then it is not fine. It may exceed the expectations, or it may fail to meet the expectations. So it depends on the test results. Why it is important to know SQL and VB script language for learning manual testing? It is always important to learn SQL. I don't know why you are asking VB script. VB script is used in your QTP and all these tools. So let me try to answer it. SQL is like structured query language, and when you are testing a database, you need to have a strong knowledge of structured query language. You have to run SQL. In banking industry, it is preferred to have the regression pack with maximum number of SQLs, wherein you don't have to enter the information again. You enter the information while you are doing the main testing or system testing or functional testing, and while performing regression, you run the SQL pack, and SQL pack will find the information for you and tell you whether the information have traveled along the predefined application path and flow or not. And VB scripting is, I'm not sure why have you asked this question. VB script is mainly used in tools like QTP and runner. So for manual testing, it might be required when you are using the application built on VB and VB script. Like TCs have its prime 1 and prime 2 in VB, so there you can use it. How banking mobile apps are tested in real time if they are using automation tool for mobile application testing? Banking application are tested in real time on mobiles, like performing the real time transactions. I go to the online interface, do a transaction, it hits the servers. There are n number of parameters and interfaces involved, and through all these interfaces and parameters and triggers, information comes back into the main system and stored there. Then I have to go to the database and check if every part of the information is stored in the right cell or not. And the tool to use test these applications are like, you can use the Selenium Android and iPhone version to test these applications on mobiles. Question: how banking application are real-time testing, if there are any automation tools. I think I've just answered his question. Can you please tell us how challenges that you encountered and during which phase of testing? The major encounter challenge which I faced was in scripting for PCI compliance. To discuss this challenge, I have to take you back into the PCI, which it is. PCI is like payment card industry standards, which it rewards any organization or any service provider to retain any sensitive information, which includes your card number, your PIN number, your address. If a application is storing any of these information in any table, view, column, data, cell, anywhere, then it is not PCI compliant. We had a requirement wherein I had to check that around 17 tables are PCI compliant, of which 7 were not. And for this, I have to go back to the development lead, and all those stuff have to be done. And then they agreed that they have to create a view. In the view, the sensitive information was masked and it was applied to all the tables. And in the following release, we never got any PCI issue. So it is both in issues. Challenges can come. It is good to know all the challenges and risks during the requirement analysis stage. But if they come later, then it takes more time to answer the things. Like to fix the issues, it takes more time. What about performance testing? For performance testing, we use good scanner and all those stuffs, because you have to check it. It have to be there, because more than 2 milliseconds is not a good application. The response time of more than 2 milliseconds is not a good response time. How to ensure data integrity tests are passed? You have to match the data length, data types, and random testing of the particular data elements. Row size, how many elements are there, and all those stuff. So you have to check. How to learn basic knowledge of banking application. Banking applications are for basic knowledge of banking application, you need to know how the banks operate, what are the debit, credit, loan account, retail account, and it's like that. You can do that. There are companies like Capgemini, ThinkSoft, and Steria, Total Systems, Easy to Pay, and Sexoft, which are in banking domain. Does it require only professional qualification for entering a banking testing? I am just a graduate and have to tell no, Sunil, it do not require any professional certification. Any requirement of professional certifications, if from the client, the company takes care of that. But yes, you can go for ISTQB certification, and these certifications are according to the regions. Like in UK, they require ISTQB certification, while in some part of the world they may not require it. Penetration testing in banking system testing. Penetration testing is like how I can fool the system, or how I can break into the system unauthorized way. George, in penetration testing, I can use like SQL injection. I'm an unauthorized user, but I somehow know the data structure or the uh, database elements of a banking application, and I try to break it. I use a SQL injection or anything like that. Then it is called a penetration testing. Migration testing is mainly like moving the application from the developing company infrastructure to the bank's infrastructure. Apart from that, in surety, the bank have to give you a sign off that it is okay, your application is working fine, and we are ready to provide you a sign off for this application. That's it for the questions. Will you people like me to go through the slides once again, or if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask me. Please feel free to ask me any more questions if you have.
Well, those are the
Or
only questions we had
let us
for
go
today,
through the
Akash.
slides once again. Okay. Okay, fine.
Do you have some more slides to continue?
No.
Alright.
I'm done with my slides. If required, I can go through the slides again.
No, no, that is all. Thank you so much for the session, Akash.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
It was a
Will I be getting any feedback report for this?
yeah, sure. I would request all the participants to share their feedback on moini.chaudhary@timesgroup.com
Yeah.
about this webinar.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I would also like to thank all our participants for their support in making this webinar a success. The recording of this session would be
Yeah.
available on techgeek.com by tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a great evening.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thank you.